Hi, and welcome to Volusia Magazine. I'm Amber Patterson. Today we'll hear from Business Beat reporter Michelle Goetz and get some insight into Daytona manufacturer AO Precision. Then health reporter Stephanie Strong will bring us a story from the Volusia County Health Department about the benefits of making wise beverage decisions. Finally, we'll join Community Information Director Dave Byron in the studio with his guest for an in-depth interview. Those segments, news, and more coming up on Volusia Magazine. Stay tuned. Buying foreclosed homes, fixing them up, and selling them to first-time home buyers is an unlikely business for a local government, but it's one Volusia County government has become heavily invested. It's part of the federally funded Neighborhood Stabilization Program, which is designed to stabilize neighborhoods that have been hit hard by foreclosures. With one of the highest foreclosure rates in the state, Volusia County was a prime target for the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. Since 2009, Volusia County has received more than $8 million in federal funds to run the program. Homes for sale include these houses in DeLand and Ormond Beach. Prices range from $45,000 to $112,000.
The program's been very successful. We have purchased 39 foreclosed homes in various parts of Volusia County in our target areas, and of those 39 homes, we've sold 26. The remainder are either listed for sale or have a pending contract. We're very excited about the program, and the homeowners that have purchased the homes are extremely excited about the quality of the home as well as how affordable the home is for them.
Volusia County will host a workshop for people interested in buying a home through the Neighborhood Stabilization Program. The workshop will be at 6:30 p.m. Wednesday, February 1st at the Votran office, which is at 950 Big Tree Road in South Daytona.
To make the home more affordable for these home buyers, Volusia County contributes funds to the financing by providing a second mortgage that is on the property for 15 years, and at the end of the 15 years, as long as the home buyer still lives in the property, that mortgage is forgiven. This feature makes the homes even more affordable for our first-time home buyers.
To be eligible for the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, home buyers must be first-time home buyers, have low to moderate incomes, and be able to obtain financing from a lender. For more information about the Neighborhood Stabilization Program, please visit volusia.org/NSP. Children's Week is coming, and the annual event was heralded by more than 1,000 colorful paper hands waving in the rotunda of the Thomas C. Kelly Administration Center of DeLand. The hands were created by preschool children across the county. They're now on their way to Tallahassee's Capitol Rotunda, where they will join thousands of hands from across the state. The 17th Annual Children's Week will be celebrated from January 29th through February 3rd to raise awareness about children's and families' issues in Florida. Its goal is to strengthen Florida's families by sharing a commitment to promote the health, safety, and well-being of our children. The hands had a positive impact on those coming into the building and made for a festive atmosphere in which to celebrate children as we strive to meet their needs and ensure the future success. For more information about Children's Week, visit childrensweek.org. Do you need a little comic relief in your life? Comedian, ventriloquist, and television star Jeff Dunham is bringing his Controlled Chaos tour to the Ocean Center in Daytona Beach on February 12th.
We have two things in our mission statement that we try to accomplish. Number one is economic impact in the community. The convention centers fulfill that economic impact. We don't basically try to make a profit for the Ocean Center. We try to make profit for other people and for the hotels and the retail and the restaurants and those types of folks. Second thing that we try to accomplish is to improve the quality of life in the community and present events that normally the community would not be able to see unless we had a facility like the Ocean Center.
Dunham's television specials and series have been the highest rated programming in Comedy Central history. The Controlled Chaos show at the Ocean Center Arena is at 5 p.m. Sunday, February 12th. Doors will open at 4 p.m. and this will be Dunham's second appearance at the convention facility in Daytona Beach. Tickets are $42.50 plus applicable service charges. Tickets may be purchased at the Ocean Center box office and all Ticketmaster outlets or online at Ticketmaster.com And you can also call Ticketmaster at 800-745-3000.
The County Council is committed to building trails because they improve your quality of life. Trails offer exercise, recreation, access to nature, and alternative transportation routes. They also bring families and friends together to enjoy the outdoors. People of all ages and abilities can enjoy our trails in Volusia County. Whether you're a walker, jogger, inline skater, or bicyclist, we have a trail for you. To learn more about Volusia County's trails, visit volusia.org/trails.
And now let's join Michelle Coates on the Business Beat to find out more about AO Precision Manufacturing of Daytona Beach.
When your customers' lives depend on the quality of your product, you pay attention to the details. We're here at AO Precision Manufacturing. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat. AO Precision Manufacturing was started in Daytona Beach in 1982. After a couple of name changes in owners, the manufacturer is going strong.
AO is a precision manufacturing company that does fine precision parts.
AO Precision is a major supplier to the military, gun builders in the commercial market, as well as the aerospace and defense industries. We spoke to Steve Koch, AO Precision Manufacturing President.
Our facility is relatively new. We have a 50,000 square foot facility here that houses in approximately about 80 pieces of equipment, CNC pieces of equipment, that's operated by highly skilled employees to about 126 employees.
The company has seen significant growth over the last several years, investing in its employees and infrastructure.
We started out as a very small individual company with less than 40 employees. As I said, we're pushing quite a bit more of that to this day. We're expanding our services. We've also expanded our equipment, and we see a phenomenal future in growth because we are also diversifying as a company. We're moving more into aerospace types of products. We'll also be moving into medical products and consumer products as well.
While building precision components and parts, primarily for guns used by the military, AO Precision is poised for diversification.
Our aerospace business is relatively new. We have successfully landed a number of new contracts this year, primarily doing parts for Pratt & Whitney and for Boeing, which will go into the Dreamliner. Those parts, we expect to continue to grow that business and diversify into other aerospace parts.
The company has set its sights on the future, and its employees are the future. AO Precision has invested in both its facilities and its employees.
Most of our employees are from out the country. Most of them have settled into Volusia County in the Florida area. Skill rates are all over. We have what we call CNC level 1 to CNC level 4 to technical support. We do in-house training of those folks, but very skilled labor. Most are precision machinists.
AO Precision Manufacturing and its innovative approach to its employees won the company top honors from the Volusia Manufacturers Association.
We received the 2009 Manufacturing of the Year Award for Factory in the Factory. And that essentially is we have cells within the company, and all the employees participate in coming up with creative ideas to improve their cell performance, efficiency, and taking down scrap defects. Very innovative approach. We believe, we're a firm believer that employees are the biggest contribution to growing our business. And that's been our success in growing, and we expect to continue to grow that way.
AO Precision Manufacturing keeps the quality and efficiency in its operations by involving its employees. AO Precision excels at delivering precision CNC machining. Whether they're working on a government contract, a critical aerospace component, or any number of other precision requirements, their commitment to quality never changes. Thanks for joining us today at AO Precision Manufacturing. I'm Michelle Coates with the Business Beat.
Have you had a soda lately? Well, if you have, then you've also had 10 teaspoons of sugar and 150 calories. Those high numbers are very alarming, and that's why the Volusia County Health Department is encouraging you to find a healthy alternative to drinking soda. Stephanie Strong has more in this segment of Community Health Matters.
Well, you're thirsty and you want something to drink. Don't quench that thirst with soda. It's not the healthy choice.
Well, our sodas and sugar-containing drinks contain an enormous number of calories. They're actually a hidden source of calories, and we're very concerned nationally about obesity in our youth and children. And the more soda and sugar-containing drinks they drink, the more apt they are to become overnourished, overweight, or even obese.
Did you know that one 12-ounce can of soda has 10 teaspoons of sugar? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and that's only halfway. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. That's a lot of sugar. Let me show you this way. As I said, one 12-ounce can of soda has 10 teaspoons of sugar. This is not a smart choice. Here's another smart choice tip for you. Did you know that drinking one 12-ounce can of soda per day for 1 year is equal to 35 pounds of sugar? Now, if you drink one additional can of soda per day for 1 year, that's equal to 15 pounds of body fat. Not a smart choice. Sugar-sweetened beverages are the largest source of added sugars in the diet of U.S. youth. Consuming these beverages increases the intake of calories, a factor potentially contributing to obesity among youth nationwide.
Well, as I mentioned, soda leads to excess calories, which can lead to obesity, but also the sugar can cause tooth decay, as well as weakened bones. So those issues are out there also with soda.
Healthy drink options. Have a pitcher of water cooled in the refrigerator so family members can drink water when they are thirsty. Add a slice of lemon or lime for flavor. Serve low-fat or fat-free milk and serve 100% fruit juice. Limit fruit juice to 1 serving per day. For Volusia Magazine and on behalf of the Volusia County Health Department, your guide to better health, I'm Public Information Officer Stephanie Strong.
As always, if you have any questions about this or any other health-related issues, you can log on to volusiahealth.com. And now let's go into the studio and join Community Information Director Dave Byron and his guest for an in-depth interview.
Well, thank you, Amber, and hello, everyone. Boy, it's pretty dry out there, well below normal rainfall amounts, and as a result, several woodland fires are occurring in Volusia County and actually throughout Central Florida for that matter. And our normal wildfire season doesn't usually begin for a couple of months. Firefighters from several agencies are on alert, hoping to jump on any new fires before they get out of hand. So with that in mind, there are some things that you can do around your properties to further protect your homes and your businesses. And we want to talk about those today. Our guest in the studio is Jeff Smith. He's the Interim Operations Chief for Volusia County Fire Services. Jeff, thanks for being with us. How you doing?
Good. Thank you, Dave, for having me.
Hey, you know, who would have thought? Here we are just in January, and we're already talking about wildfire season. I don't know, that doesn't give me a good feeling as we go into the drier part of the year.
You're right, and we don't have a good feeling either. We've had an unseasonably dry spell for this time of the year, and we are well below our rainfall levels here in Volusia County, which has led us to some problems lately.
Yeah, let's talk about the problems. I mean, just this past weekend, the MLK weekend, it seems like you had 8 or 10 fires throughout Volusia County. You guys were pretty busy.
We did. We had quite a few. Sunday and Monday. Actually, it started on Friday right through the weekend and culminated on Monday with a complex down there off of 44 where we had 85 acres involved in a fast-moving fire.
What's odd about those fires, at least from my perspective, Jeff, is the fact that we didn't have any lightning. So
that's correct. Those were human.
I was going to say, you know, that's what we want to talk about, is that those woodland areas are very, very dry out there, and if people do anything else, they need to be very vigilant when we're out in the woods.
Extremely vigilant with their vehicles, with the exhaust, with any burning material that they leave behind. Very vigilant is the right key word.
You know, Jeff, one of the things that you know, has occurred actually year over year is the fact, going way back to 1998 with those epic wildfires in Volusia County. If there was anything good about that, firefighters in Volusia County got a great deal of experience. And since that time, there's a pretty integrated effort involving the county and the cities and Division of Forestry and so forth. And get a pretty good machine out there to deal with these.
That is true, Dave. We've learned our lessons, and every year we get better and better. We educate ourselves and our firefighters with important things like fire weather and fire behavior, which really make a difference out there in the wildfire. And we collectively, all the agencies, work together to share the resources when there's an event. And we rely heavily upon Florida Forestry Service as well.
Yeah, let's talk about that just for a second, Jeff, because a lot of people don't understand the relationship, who does what. And as I generally understand it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but as I generally understand it, the local firefighters, you know, respond first quickly to try to prevent any structural loss. Division of Forestry rolls in, and then they sort of take command of the big scene, and the local firefighters are there to support and provide structure help. Is that generally?
That's exactly right. That's exactly what we do. Forestry Service is charged with protection of the woods and growing timber, if you will, unincorporated or wild areas. And what we do is we respond quickly to protect the structures first. And then the second function that we have is to back up the forestry division as they plow, and then work on those hot spots to prevent an escape of the fire. And we talk about that all the time, about how the percentage of containment for these wildfires, that's very important for us.
Jeff, you know, I guess it sounds simple, but one of the things that you all have learned is that getting as many resources as quickly as possible to these wildfires often is a key to getting them under control quickly before they become out of control and then you can't handle them.
That's exactly right. And now with the drought that we're in, we have the potential for fires to spot a quarter to a half mile out away from where the main body of fire is. That covers a large area. And so if you can keep a fire small, that's your best bet. And that's why we do try to be swift and aggressive with that.
When you say spot, for those folks out there that may not understand that terminology, what does that mean when you say spot?
Spotting is where the fire is being blown. The embers, the fly ash, and like you spoke there about 1998, everybody remembers how you could get up and you'd see smoke and particles in the air, actual fly ash, which are the unburned embers that are still traveling. A spot over is where the embers fly out a distance. Right now we're talking about a quarter of a mile to a half a mile. That's a great distance for another fire to start as a result of a main fire. So also with the drought, the fire can move within an hour over a mile.
You know, you had touched on it just a minute ago, and you said one of the things that is commonly done now is you're trying to predict fire behavior. You're trying to before any fires occur, you're trying to figure out what you're looking at, what the danger level is, that sort of thing. Tell us some of the things you look at and the tools that you use to do that.
Well, what we know is we had a lot of rain earlier toward the end of the fall, early part of the winter last year. What that did is that caused a lot of growth. We had the vegetation that grew up. Now we've moved into an extreme dry spell. All that vegetation has died. And looking at the modeling that we do for the different types of fuel, we know that the behavior is going to be very bad, like I was telling you there, with spotting fires at a quarter to half a mile, and that they could actually travel if you had a large fire in trees, like we have around here with pines and things, that fire could actually move a mile an hour because of the vegetative growth, the types of fuels that we have. And you know, in Florida, our green stuff burns as well as any brown stuff out west, so that's a problem.
So when you use the term fuel for, again, for lay people out there, basically that's the brush or the stuff that's on the ground. Is that basically what you're saying?
That's correct. The fuel may be on the ground. We have standing timber, and then we have ladder fuels, which are vegetative growth such as vines and things that grow up trees. And then the worst fire, of course, is if we get it in the treetops and it's traveling that way, or crown fires.
Sure.
Those are fast moving. You've seen those on video where it just runs.
Jeff, one of the other things that you do is monitor the weather. And I know I've heard it said numerous times that brisk, gusty winds and low humidity and certain temperatures all come together, and that's not a good scenario for wildfires.
It's not. As a matter of fact, the last few days over the weekend, as you commented, we had some really strong winds, and when you see those flags standing out straight, it puts a chill down my back, because I know that if something happens, it can get away from us. And that's why we want to encourage people to take the actions that they can to be as fire-wise as possible. And the weather is a major controlling factor in wildland fires.
And of course, if you have frost and that undergrowth gets frostbitten, then it becomes brown and dies off.
Correct.
And it's very ignitable.
Extremely.
One of the things that we've talked about in the past is this Keach-Byram Drought Index, and it's a tool that you all use to measure the dry conditions out in the land in Volusia County. Tell us about the Keach-Byram Drought Index. For folks that have never heard of that, what is that?
That is a tool that was developed for wildland firefighting as a means to measure what the fire behavior would be like based upon the drought index. And that's what we call it, KDI, Keach Drought Index for short, and 800 being the highest, similar to desert conditions.
Right.
Most of Volusia County, 63% right now, is currently over 500.
Wow.
It's inching up. When it gets a little higher, that's when we start to put a burn ban in effect, because we want to try to limit some of those problems that, even though people do try to be careful, there's always human error involved, and then we want to try to limit those.
Normally, that trigger point for a burn ban is somewhere in the neighborhood of a KDI of around 600. Is that correct?
Correct.
So here you are, we're still in January, and the Keach-Byram Drought Index is 500 or over. In relationship to normal years, is it higher at this time of the year than it normally is?
Yes, it is. It is this year, and it's also, this is tied to weather patterns out west. And if you've noticed, we had an extremely warm winter so far compared to what we had last year. So these weather patterns have a major effect on us. Last year, the same time, Flagler County was drier than we were. This year it's reversed.
Wow, unbelievable. So that leads me to ask, I know you're looking into the future to the best of your ability. We haven't even gotten into the so-called typical season, which I guess is generally the March, April, May, June period. Where are we? I mean, do you think, I know you don't have a crystal ball, but I mean, does it look pretty grim for coming up?
It's bad. I hate to be the person that always sounds the alarm, and you know, too many times we cry wolf. This is a case right now where we're in a bad place, and you've seen that with the fires recently. It's not good. So we're in a bad place. We need to be careful. We need people to be responsible with their activities that are outdoors, and we just need to be vigilant. If somebody sees active fire burning out of control, they need to call right away.
And I guess if anything, we need rain, right?
We need a lot of rain, Dave.
Hey, Jeff, you talked about people being vigilant. You know, let's talk about some of the common sense things that people need to think about. You know, I read in the newspaper just this weekend that one of those fires that occurred over the weekend and was likely started by someone who flicked a cigarette out a car window. Even just the little grass on the side of the road can catch on fire, and all of a sudden you got a woodland fire.
We've had hot rubber off of tractor trailer tire come off and actually cause a grass fire.
Wow. So, you know, people that have their homes and businesses, Jeff, there are some things that they should be doing. Let's talk about some of those things that they can do to help you and help themselves.
Well, what we want to do is we ask homeowners that live in places that are surrounded by trees and standing timber to try to keep a buffer of at least 30 feet around the main structure. Clear, and if they're using an irrigation system, they want to keep the grass green. That's to their benefit. We also ask that they keep fallen leaves, pine needles and things like that off of the roof and out of the eaves. We also ask that you trim away what I was talking about before with the ladder fuels, limbs and things like that that are hanging over the house. Keep those away. And just try to be property-wise from that standpoint. We talk about burning things. We don't want people to have uncontrolled burning in an open environment. We'd like it to be in a fireplace or something such as that, and if not, have a hose standing by to where they can put out the fire if it does get out of hand, because like we said, with these winds, it pushes those embers, and some of the fuel that people use to burn pine and things like that will really spot out.
And I guess if you're going to be out in the woods camping or hiking or biking or that sort of thing, I guess you really, really need to be careful.
You do. You need to be very careful. One of the things we didn't talk about was spark arresters that are on exhaust pipes. A lot of people do four-wheeling here in Florida. They get out in the woods on those four-wheelers or those quad runners, and sometimes they soup them up and take that mechanism out of the exhaust pipe so that it breathes a little better. Well, what that arrestor does is prevent sparks from coming out. Very easy for them to start a fire running through those woods.
No burn ban in place at this time, but
correct.
I would imagine it won't be too much longer if things continue the way they are, that will have to be considered, I would think.
Right. We're praying for rain. We're hoping for rain. I look outside today. It looks like it's a little cloudy. Maybe we'll get some rain today. Every little bit helps. But if we don't have a change, we will have to take some action.
Well, Jeff, I want to thank you very much for sharing the information. I know you and your guys and ladies are out there every day, and it's a tough job. So thanks for sharing the information with us.
Thank you, Dave.
And again, we can't stress how important it is for everyone to be very vigilant. And as Jeff said, keep those properties clean, keep those gutters and roofs clean. And certainly if you're going to be out in the wooded area, please be extremely careful. And with that, Amber, we'll go back to you.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you for watching Volusia Magazine. If you have any questions about our program, just give us a call at any of the numbers you see listed here, or you can log on to volusia.org. And don't forget to listen to Volusia Today, Volusia County Government's public information radio broadcast. Volusia Today airs every Tuesday and Sunday mornings on the local radio stations you see on your screen. For Volusia Magazine, I'm Amber Patterson. Have a great evening.